All right, so this is test number 2. I'll do the same song again, even if you like, whether you like the song or not, doesn't matter. But this is with the mics set in stereo. I have my microphone on, the guitar is unplugged. There are no strings on it, but it's unplugged. And this is just so you can hear the difference between being in wind reduction and the difference in just stereo mics. So what I'm looking for, especially if you're a musician, is to see if the microphones peak and distort. So let's say you're playing in a band live and you got a drummer there and he crashes a cymbal or hits the bass drum or whatever, and that high percussion sound, if it peaks out the mics, which it usually will. And if you're in auto, what'll happen as soon as there's a loud crash or bang, the whole mic, the volume will drop because of the wind reduction and to take away that percussive noise. Now, without the wind reduction, you're probably not going to get that taking noise away. But now what you're looking for is to see if they distort. So whether you're a musician or maybe you're in an indoor gun range or something like that, or at a gun range, that loud thing, that's what blew out the mics on my other camera, was my 357 Magnum. It blew those out. So because of that high crack, pow, high pressure sound wave, whereas if you have the reduction on, it takes away that high pressure sound wave, but it might play around with your auto, so you get like this kind of tunnel kind of sound, and there's not much you can do about it with cheap mics. But it's just nice to know that you can get away with it. At least you get a sample of the song. So if you're a musician, you'll find out whether you can make, this will be a good choice for you or not to have as a gigging camera. I've used the Gopro Hero 5, and it gave me good results, but I never played around with the mics on it. By the time I got around to playing with the mics on it, I lost my Hero 5. That's why I got the Hero 7 now. Plus, my tax return came in, and I thought I needed to invest in my channels. So before I spend the money on things like bills and rent and stuff like that, I better blow it, you know what I mean? So I know. Don't worry, I'm responsible. I pay all my bills first. But this is mainly for musicians to see if they're going to like this kind of camera. For that. So and again, this is all unedited. It'll be just basically from the camera to my laptop, uploaded directly to YouTube, and that will tell you a good idea of what you're going to get. So there's no playing around with anything, no adjustments, because you'll see people like, oh, it's completely raw, the camera. The only thing I did is I did this and this and this. No, this is right from the camera. This is what you're going to get. So you know your results should be consistent to mine. Again, I'm just using a small PA. I'm not cranked full. I got the mic, the guitar's unplugged. And yeah, here we go. So. Talking away. Well, I don't know what I have to say, but I'll say it anyway. The days are never day to find you. You're shying away, but I'll be coming for your love, okay? Take on me, take on me, take. It's better to be safe than sorry. Take on me, take on me, take on me. I'll be there. Watch out for the motorcycle. Watch out for the bike race. be coming for you anyway. Hold on. Take all this, take on, take all this. I'll be gone. It's your there we go. So, mind you, this is my second take of this song, so I probably sounded a little bit better because I'm a little more warmed up the first song. So, the tone, don't look for the tonal thing, just go for the actual sound. I know as a musician, it's very hard to find a camera that can capture, a cheaper camera that can actually capture a good sound. Like a cell phone is very hard to record, even just acoustic guitar. Everything peaks out on it, right? So hopefully this won't be too bad. We'll see how the stereo mics hold up in comparison to the wind reduction. So you might find yourself at louder volumes using the wind reduction, even if you lose a little bit of tone or whatever. But we'll see. You know, again, it depends on how far you are from your sound and stuff like that. So sometimes when you really close all your, you know, you just can't. It's just noise. You can't distinguish the drums or the guitar or whatever. The GoPros usually aren't too bad though. You can usually pick up a band pretty good. So anything really loud, high percussive sounds is going to always drop out your volume, and it'll always peak the mic a bit. So if there's a reduction on it, yeah, you'll have a bit of a muddier sound, but you'll usually be able to get a better balance overall. So there we go. Now, mind you, again, this isn't, I know what the criticisms are going to hear. Well, you need to buy this, and this. No, this is for somebody who just wants a camera to record with, and you don't have a budget to have a shotgun mic and, you know, stereo mics or whatever, which, yeah, it'd be nice to be able to have all that. But if you can't have all that, you know, like if people have absolutely unlimited budget, yeah, they could buy the best in the world. But if you need a camera that's easy to take around with you, there's not too much that's going to beat the GoPros for their size, right? They're a pretty small camera. I just got it set up on a tripod, foam tripod. One thing I did notice is that if you're on stage and you're tapping your foot, the GoPro will move around, and if it wiggles, what ends up happening is it'll cut the sound of you. You'll hear the mics will pick up the vibration of the camera moving around, and it'll kill your sound a bit. So just be careful where you put it on stage so that it's solid. Don't put it on don't put it on a wooden stool. You'll just hear all the vibrations going through the stool. That's all you'll hear. I found that out the hard way. So the only thing I've done to this, like I say, it's sitting on carpet right now, so it's not too bad, but it's just sitting on a rubberized, flexi tripod thing. I've already covered it in other videos and stuff like that, so I won't bother doing it again. But it's something that'll, you know, help the camera not, you know, absorb more vibration and stuff like that. So if you keep the camera in an area where it's not vibrating, then the mics can just concentrate on picking up the sound in the room. I wouldn't put it tight to a speaker for a few reasons. Number one is that it'll probably be just too close, and all you'll get is distortion. So if you can find a place to angle it, yeah, that might work pretty good. But if you can add a better mic later on, no problem. But this is how the internal mics are working. So I'll leave it at that. So that's, again, unplugged guitar. My PA not cranked full because it's only a little 15-watt PA. But just to get the vocals up loud enough that it would peak the mics, you know. If you're going to use really bassy, if you put this near a bass amp, do not put it near the bass amp or the drums, because if you put it near the bass amp or the drums have a very high decibel, you know, when it's like that, it just, that percussiveness, you know, basically it shocks the mic, and then, you know, the dampening or the wind reduction or whatever, or the noise reduction will just, you know, kick in all the time, and it'll make everything mud. So move it away from the bassier things, move it away from the percussive things, and you should have better results. What you will find is that a lot of times when we play live, we use on stage. It always sounds good to put up the bass, but when we record, a lot of times we have way too much bass in there, and so you can clean up the sound a lot by just lowering the bass a bit. Although you lose a bit of that, the room doesn't shake as much, which is something sometimes what you want people to feel the music. So you lose out a bit on that, but you get better audio. So just a little trick. You could use that with any camera, but then again, if you don't have enough bass in there, you sound tinny. So what we're going for today is to see how we can balance it out with just natural sound. I will plug in the guitar at a later date. The next time you see a music video that I do with this camera, it's probably going to be on stage. I could go tonight, but I'm spending the day with this. This is my first day with this GoPro, so I'm spending the day working on the GoPro, and next Wednesday I'll probably hit the jam night, and then we'll see how it really does live. And I'm looking forward to that because I haven't played on stage in over 8 months. Anyway, there we go.